Hey, good evening. Welcome to Music and Mixing. I am DJ Michael Joseph, in case you don't know. And John was helping me out previous to the show because behind the scenes we have a preview window that lets us see what's going on so that we can test to make sure the audio and everything's working. And my preview window was doing nothing but showing the thumbnail. So that's why, John, I appreciate him in the chat shouting things out and helping me out as always. But yes, I'm back at home finally after two not long trips, but two back-to-back trips that have really, kind of tested my how much I really need sleep, etc., stuff like that. So I'm back into the studio. I'm doing a few other things here real quick. And tonight we are obviously going to talk about the DJ Expo. And one of the rules about the DJ Expo is that you can only talk about it twice, once before, once after. So I did my before, and this is the after. So we got a lot of cool stuff. I have broken it down into 4 things. So, Expo starts with an E, so why not do 4 E's? So tonight I'm going to be covering equipment, events, education, and experience. And I'm going to be talking about my experience with some stuff that went on, stuff to previous years, stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff. I have lots of pictures tonight, so for those of you who are listening via audio or maybe while you're driving, you're going to miss a lot because I got a lot of really great pictures and video. Raw video straight from the floor that you're going to be able to see stuff, and we're going to talk about it. You can ask questions, stuff like that. So we got all kinds of great stuff. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of minutes to get into the chat. Hey, Howie, what's going on? Howie was out there at the Expo with us. We're going to be talking about some of the stuff he was doing there. Reggie, welcome. Alum, glad to be back. Thank you. Was away 2 weeks. That's right. I got lots of pictures and great stuff to show. So for those of you who didn't get to go to the Expo, I'll try to get as much covered as I can. I'll let you know probably 2 or 3 times tonight that I think this year was a little bit different than past years. But we're going to go into that. Yeah, if John types, he's DJ Knows, and if I type, I'm DJ News. So this is me typing right here. And John could type the same thing and say he's MJ too. So I think we're working off two different things from the office. But I'm in my studio here in Pittsburgh. So hello, Todd. Everybody, welcome to the chat. Let me move that up a little so I can see. Lots of good stuff. I still think I'm recovering from the sleep because I really didn't sleep much there, both because of stuff that was going on and that I don't sleep well when I travel. I never do. I barely sleep well at home, let alone when I travel. But it was good. It was unexpected, but lots of cool stuff. I think a couple more minutes here till everybody gets in the chat, and I'm going to just jump right into it here. See if there's anybody else we need to jump in. Let everybody catch up. And I'll hit it again. So as I hit the topics tonight, feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'll try to answer them the best I can. We got a lot of stuff going on there. If you want a dirt bike video tonight, I have one that I can show. That's it. If you guys want to see that, those of you who haven't seen that one, I'll bring it up here in a bit. Not now, but I'll bring it up here in a bit. Where the heck did I even put that at? I have to think what folder that's even in. I know what folder that's in. And I will show that video if you want. For those of you who don't know, right after the Atlantic City trip, gosh, I don't even know which video it is. Let me make sure the volume's down on the other part of it. I know we're just kind of rambling off into this right now. I apologize, but we are going to have a very good show tonight. Lots of cool stuff. If I downloaded that, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. I think it is. We may not be able to do. Yes, we can do that video tonight too. So you will get to see a motorcycle video tonight too. I will share that one. But for those of you who jumped in late there, answering stuff. For those of you who jumped in late, tonight is DJ Expo review, review, looking back over the Expo. And because Expo starts with an E, I'm going to cover the 4 E's that were at the Expo: equipment, events, education, and experience. And you might say, well, MJ, why didn't you put entertainment in there? but because to us as DJs, all of that is entertainment. The equipment is entertaining. The events are entertaining. The education is entertaining. And the experience is entertaining. So that's why I left that one out of there. I kind of wanted to do it a little bit different. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat here as I can as I drop through this. Try to save the questions that we're going to try to keep everything to the Expo as possible tonight with the questions. The record pool that I use, the two that I use is BPM Supreme and Club Killers are my two favorite, but I am looking into a few others. I've tried a bunch of them, but those are my two favorites right now. But we're going to jump right in to the stuff. So, okay, I want to start at the top with equipment, which I probably should save the end because everybody wants to see the equipment. But I want to show you the stuff because this year there wasn't as much equipment. I'm going to be honest with you. There just was not much there this year, in my opinion. I'm trying to get the video up here going there for you. All right, so there we go. Okay, so there just wasn't as much equipment this year. I really don't know why no companies really put a lot out this year, and I thought that was kind of weird that there was almost nothing out. Some of the stuff was leaked ahead of time. I wouldn't say leaked, but put out. There was only a couple there that had no fanfare prior to the Expo. But one of them that did come out a few days before, I actually did a video on it. Knew a little bit about it coming a couple weeks in advance, but got to spend a lot of time on it, is the Denon, their new media player. Those of you know before, they've had the media player, and the media player was just a standard like CDJ type thing that took thumb drives and had its own screen. Really majorly elaborate. But what they added to it this year is they added a motorized platter. So same thing you had before with the Denon SC5000, but it's the Denon SC5000M, which stands for motorized platter. It's a small 7-inch platter, almost identical. If you ever touched an NS7 III, it's almost identical to that in every way. But keep in mind also that the parent company in music is the parent company of both Denon and Newmark. So that's why they're kind of in there together. So this is, I'm going to just share a quick video here. This is just raw video that I took of the stuff right at the Expo, me playing around with it, and I'll explain some stuff. And again, I'm going to go brand by brand, and you guys can ask some questions if you want in there. So this is the Denon. As you see, we were playing around with it there. It's the same size. It's a few pounds heavier from what I understand. I mean, you can look at the specs. I haven't detailed into them. But you just tap on the screen. You do not need a computer whatsoever. You just have a thumb drive in there. That's me on the right with the GoPro getting some close-up footage, which I'll show you here in a couple seconds. But you just throw your songs on a thumb drive in the front. You can type stuff in, search stuff, just like the other one did, except for once you get there, and see if I can get him to press play. And he's showing some different things that you can do with it in there. Lots of stuff in that menu like you wouldn't believe. Zoom in and out on the waveform just by pinching, or the button or the knob on the right you can do that with, and then you press the play button and it's spinning. And like I said, if you ever used an NS7 or NS7 III, it's almost identical to that. It does so freaking much, it's not even funny. Like, it's so easy to get lost in all the things that thing can do. It's not cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. There's some scratching on it. It's going to run you almost $2,000 per side. It's $1,900. But keep in mind also that there is no computer needed. So that's the thing that you guys have to keep in mind, that with this. I have too many things open here. That with this device you do not need a computer whatsoever. It runs on its own. You just put a thumb drive in it. You run through the Engine Prime system, and you can just DJ straight from it. I'm going to grab another one here. Show you this one. This is the GoPro footage. Give it a second to come up here. There we go. And this is while the guy was doing the stuff. So you can just kind of get a little closer look there at what it is and the size of it and how it works. There was there was a lot to that. If you've not had your hands on it, those of you who are used to just DJing with small little controllers that don't do a lot, this is going to blow your mind, because this does everything that you can do on a computer, but it's right there in your hands. You really don't have to worry too much. But this was like almost the only thing that they come out with, other than they're doing integrations with Sound Switch and stuff like that, so that you're able to DJ also video through this also. So there's a lot there. And like I said, it's kind of neat what all it can do. He's doing loop rolls there just by twisting the knob, changing the length of the loop rolls on the fly. Again, like I say every time I do one of these shows, this show is about, it's called Music and Mixing, because it's about the mix DJ, and it's about stuff like that. So those of you who are doing weddings that just press play, none of this probably would be relevant to you. But for those who are in the mix world, whether it be clubs or touring, this is what it's about. This is why that they did that. So that's the Denon SC5000M. Feel free to hit me up with any questions you have in the chat about that. I'll try to answer that. The mixer is, I think, $1,500 for the mixer, but you can use any mixer. They tie together through a crossover cable, but tying in their mixer to it gives it a lot more, lets it do a lot more. Like it really, there's so much more you can do with that. We're going to move on now to, if I can get my folders right here. After Denon, we're going to talk about the phase system. For those of you who don't know what the phase system is, it is a little adapter that you put on top of a record, and it reads the momentum of the record and translates that into a tone as if the needle was on the control vinyl, and it just eliminates the need for a needle. It does the exact same thing as a control vinyl and needle, but it's just a way around it. Let me click back over here, and this is some footage from it. Give it a second to come up here. And that's all the bigger it is. It just sits there, and they have it magnet on there. I'm just doing raw video here, just showing how it picks up, and that's the little piece of magnet you put on your record. And just by moving it side to side, like if I had the audio up, you could hear it scratching right there. But that literally is all there is to it. That, and if I show the box at the end, I'm not sure what I'm doing there, because I'm holding the camera as I'm doing this. I told you it was just raw footage. Oh, I put it back on the tripod right there is what I did. But I'm just doing some raw footage, showing it to you there, going in and out of focus. Let me jump ahead here a little bit if there's anything there. But that little box in the back, right back here above my hand, that's the box that receives that angular momentum thing. And this is another shot from the GoPro. You can see it there. I think on this one I actually show the box a little bit, but it just, any momentum in there, it picks it up just as if there was a needle on there. And I really liked it. When I get done talking about all the equipment, I'm going to tell you which ones I liked better. It's one of the first things I'm going to do here. But that's the phase system. They're just now starting to release it. I haven't even gotten a copy to test yet, and I told them that I have not gotten a copy to test yet, and they said it's coming. So, see if any questions here. The mixer is awesome. It's all of the stuff that's out, both that and the 72 mixers are incredible. So this is all stuff you knew about. Like I said, the only thing new really, I have a light coming that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But when it came to equipment, the Denon SC5000M was the only really new one when it came to DJing equipment. But I'm going to talk about some stuff that's already out, but it was the first time that I got to put my hands on it. Like the phase system, that was the first time I got to try it out. I was very impressed. It's tight as can be. It is really, really good. But next is the Rain 72 and 12, which, again, has been out before, but it's the first time I got to try it. So let me switch back over here. Wait till video comes up. Again, this is all just raw footage, and this is the Rain system, and it works off kind of like think of it like a giant NS7, but the things are identical size to a normal record. And as you're scratching and turning, there's one. Let's go to the second video here. Again, raw. Sorry about the crazy raw footage. I'm just carrying cameras around. But again, it just works identical to any record, but you don't need a special record. It plays itself. Think of it like its own little controller there. And this is the 72 mixer. It does everything that a controller does and more, including having onboard waveforms and stuff like that. They have not said anything about this being able to do anything standalone like the Denon 5000, but I have a feeling they're going to release more information on it in the future to where you could possibly feed it into there through a thumb drive or something like that, where you may not necessarily need a computer. Who knows with the future of this? Like I said, it's kind of, sorry about, like I said, this is just raw footage from the floor. There's just a lot there. I really, really, really like this thing. I have to tell you, it really liked it, and there were some people using it live in the rain booth doing demos, and I think this is the GoPro footage. Yeah, this is the GoPro footage, so you just get kind of a close-up of it there. Really close up. You can get other color records on the top. Your records don't have to be white like that. That's just what they chose to kind of do a demo of it. 72 is an incredible mixer too. It's amazing what they can pack into a little box like that nowadays. So that's just about it for the rain. Like I said, it was cool, expensive. Any new small mixers come out. Literally what I'm going to be showing you tonight is everything new. Like I said, the SC5000 was the only thing that was new. The rest of the stuff I'm going over was out before, except for we have some an ADJ par and and I think Chauvet had something new, but we're going to cover the ADJ par because I liked it. I really do like that. Hey Ivan, welcome to the chat. Yeah, lots of good things about that. You don't have to worry about needle jumping or drifting or anything like that. With both of those, when I get through all the equipment, then I'm going to start giving my opinions about them, and you can ask questions about the equipment. Yeah, it's raw footage. It was just stuff that I'm going to end up doing a video on later this week talking about stuff, and I just kind of wanted to get some just general raw footage of it. This next one was already out. Oh gosh, longer than 2 or 3 months ago, but it was the first time I got to try it out. It is the Pioneer 1000 DDJ 1000 controller. Go back to here, switch up footage. And again, this is the first time, it's not new, but it was the first time I got to try it out. And I think it's a beautiful piece of equipment. It has a little onboard in the center of the platters there. You can see in another video, I'll show them a little closer. The waveforms actually go across there and give you the information about the song. You can see the waveform. If it was turning, all that would be turning and give you all the information about the song. If you wanted it there on top of your computer, like right there, that would be spinning. And I might grab it with my hand here in a second. I don't remember the footage if I do that or not. Yep, right there. So it works like that. That's your footage on there. It does exactly the same thing as pretty much any other controller. It's really solid. My only complaint, and I did get to talk to one of the Pioneer guys about it, was the fact that, like most bigger controllers, they have a curve control on the crossfader. And that one does not. And if I'm correct, when I fade back across there, I just noticed that I do not, there's another shot of that there. I do not believe it has a replaceable fader. So those are the two things that I didn't like about it. Other than that, we're going to stop right there. Yeah, see, it does not have a replaceable fader, and it does not have a curve control for the fader. Other than that, there's a good chance I might have bought this thing because I really like it. Now, it says record box, but it will work with other stuff, just like my 7000 came with the Serato logo on it, but it runs with everything. I really did like it. It was really solid. It felt good. The one thing that's unique about this, and I think I'm going to go back to the other, there's that crazy GoPro footage, just trying to get some close-up footage there. But I'm going to go back to the other footage here in a second. That platter right there is, if you've seen any of the older, I'm going to go back to this footage, CDJs, that platter is the same size as the CDJ platter. Like most of the DDJ controllers, the platter is smaller, but for the 1000, they put the CDJ platter on it, which I think is just freaking awesome. It's full size, and it feels really, really good. So that was Pioneer. And finally, we're going to finish up with ADJ. And ADJ had a new light that I really liked. Thought it was neat. I'm loving the multiple lights. And this is a par/laser combo. So we're going to show some raw footage. And I honestly don't, I'm going to tell you right now, I honestly do not believe that my footage does this justice. Because when they put, you don't need Like, they have no fog at all in that booth. But I can't imagine this thing with a little bit of fog, because that's one of the things they advertise, is that you don't need fog for it. Switch back over here. And camera. It's just a basic par with lasers that come out of the center. Frickin' lasers. So that's bottom and top and bottom of them right there. And right there's the lasers that come out of the center. 3 color lasers. So you have red, blue. I think it's red, blue, and green. I know it's red and green. I think the other one's blue. And they do patterns on the floor and everything, but you get both 2 and 1 on that. It's called the ADJ StarTech Razor is what it's called. This is the booth. This is me just randomly scanning around the booth. Like I said, it was just raw footage. They had also on display their big screens, their LED screens, and their new one is really nice. The other one, those who knew the 6mm one, was nice, but this one has a lot more detail than the 6mm one. But there's the lasers again. I get some more footage here. I think this is the GoPro footage. I'm not sure. No, this isn't the GoPro footage. I don't even know what this is. Yeah, this is close up. I'm just trying to capture it, but as it goes across there, like I said, imagine that being in some sort of fog or something. The lasers just do great without the fog. I really believe they do. I was impressed with it. I think they finally released a price. I think it's 1 something. This is their advertisement of it that they show. That's the patterns on the floor that it does. I kind of want to show this. It doesn't show much of the lights. This video, this demo video of theirs, kind of only shows a lot of the laser part of the things. It doesn't show a lot of the par can side of it, but you'll get to see the patterns that the laser does on top of the par lights themselves. Excuse me. But I really did like it. I do like, yeah, there's the red, green, and blue. I do like the multi-lights that are coming out now. I think this is a cool light. I really do. I think it has a lot of options for someone who does a variety of parties. That you want something that can do a little bit of everything, and this is definitely it. There's some more patterns that it does there. But that's pretty much it. That is all the equipment that was released that I have to show you. If you have any questions about this, now's the time to ask. Right now it only works with Rekordbox, but I guarantee it will work with more. I guarantee someone's already working on a virtual mapping of it, because virtual... I forget what the numbers. Last time I checked, the numbers were there were over 350 devices that work with Virtual DJ. So that's everything from Serato boxes to controllers. So I guarantee if it's not already out for virtual, it will be. And then I'm sure Serato will be there too. There's no reason why they would lock it down to only Rekordbox. Besides, as long as when you plug in there, it reads as a generic MIDI controller, anything can be mapped to it. But it all depends on if they 100% locked it down, which I really doubt they would. And then even if they did lock it down, someone could write a firmware update for it that lets it do anything. Because when the what was it? The NV, the Newmark NV came out, it had 2 screens on it. And they're saying, you know, at that time when it came out, it will only work with Serato. Serato's the only one that will do the feeds. And literally within 2 weeks, somebody had it working with virtual. And it would work from then on out. I think the light, if I'm correct, was $169 right now. I'd have to bring it up. I don't think they have a price on it on the ADJ site. Let me do a quick search here. If someone else wants to even do that in the chat, that's fine too. I was thinking $169. Like I said, when I asked them right then, they did not have a price for it right then. If someone wants to look that up and come back into the chat and do that instead of me looking it up here and you guys being bored to death and watching me do that. So if you have any questions about the products, we'll talk about the products too, but I also want to get on some other stuff that was going on because it was a freaking expo. There was a lot of stuff going on. The showroom this year, I'll talk about, I'm going to go with that into my experience about it. So the next thing was the events that were going on. The past 3 years, it has been in 3 different venues. It was in the Trump, then went to the Convention Center, and now over to Harrah's. And each one has its own pluses and minuses. But one of the things I liked about this one is the venues that they did for the venues they did for events. I really, really, really liked what they did and how the venues worked together so easily with everyone and what they were doing. First one I want to show is the first day party was the pool party. Let me go over here and switch that up. And then we go back to here and sharing the left monitor. And this was one of the pictures I took from the pool party. It was neat. You know, a couple of DJs were complaining about the sound sounding, you know, echoey. But for crying out loud, it's a pool. What do you expect? But I liked it, and they used it not only this stage, but they had a stage on the other side, too, that they used on the last night for another pool party, multiple DJs, different things. But I really liked it. I thought it fit for what the atmosphere, what we're trying to create. So they had events there that I liked. And the other one was Eden Lounge, and this is Scribble at Eden Lounge. I climbed up on the thing, not really climbed, but I went around to the top. There's Shaney right there taking video, and somewhere also in there is Dan, because I know he was down there, but this is Scribble and Scratch doing their thing at Eden. It was a great venue. They had several shows there. I liked it. Like I said, it was just a walk down the hall from the pool area, so you can actually, if there was ones going on at the same time, you could go and see both of them. This guy right here, for those old schoolers right there, that's Kevy Kev. For those who know that the hip hop era of Nice and Smooth and Pete Nice and all them, that was him right there. I got to hang out with him a little bit. He's a cool guy. But those are the two parties, and the other one was the main stage inside the expo room. This is the main stage where they had performers doing stuff, and I'm going to talk about the main stage here in a couple of minutes because it was crazy loud. But that's the events area, and they had lots of great events. Besides those, I'm going to be showing some more pictures here. They did lots of other events, but these were the ones that were sanctioned by DJ Times. So those were the main venues, but there are other ones off at other hotels and different things like that, including another one that I got to spin out that I'm going to be talking about here in a minute. But I really liked the venues for those bigger gigs, because for those who remember years ago, when it was at Trump, they used to do stuff at the Hard Rock next to it. It was the Hard Rock or one of them, and they used to have events that were right there with a lot of big names. And this kind of felt like that, to where you were still close to the hotel, but yet you could go and see the show really quickly, and you didn't have to, you know, do all that much. 220 for the pars there, somebody said in the chat. Yeah, I wasn't sure on that one. Like I said, I love the way they looked, and I do not believe that my videos do them justice at all, because they really looked good. My videos just don't do them justice. Yeah, like I said, with someone there in the chat said they doubt that the 1000 will work with Serato because they want to keep it separate. But again, like I said, with the community today, unless they put something proprietary in there that locks it down, as long as someone can either do a firmware update and override it, people can do what they want. Like I said, because they said flat out when they come out with the NV that no other software would work with the screens, and literally within 2 weeks it was out. It was working with other stuff, so it was there. So that was the events. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to get back to education, which I don't have a lot to talk about the education. I think Dan covered that. And then I'm going to give my experience, and I'll answer any questions you want to do. But for right now, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors. Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and DJNTV Insiders. Want to do a big shout out, thanks to our sponsors for making this possible. Without them, it would be just me talking here in my studio to myself, which I do anyways, but at least this way, maybe someone can find some entertainment with it. All the information about our sponsors is in the show notes below. Please click on it, go tell them you saw them here, and we thank them for their support. Now, education. There was a buttload of education this year, and I really believe this is, to me, in my opinion, was one of the most diverse years that stuff they covered. Years ago, it was a lot going more towards the mobile side, but there was stuff about mixing this time. There was just general ones about like music. There was just everything you can imagine. I think they really had a nice broad range of topics. Because I had so much going on, which I'm going to talk about more here in a minute, but I only got to go to one, and it was a good one to go to. Being old like I am, I know a lot of the early hip hop information and where it came from, and I love the world of DJing, and love to watch a lot of documentaries about stuff. And it was nice to sit in on this panel, and I really kind of just fell into it. Didn't realize I was going to be there even, but it had Grand Wizard Theodore, which, if for those of you who don't know, he's the guy who invented the scratch. And if you want to know about him and all these other two that I'm about to talk about, go and watch the documentary called Scratch. And it is the history of scratching as a DJ, where it came from and everything. It is a great video. It covers pretty much every kind of DJ you can imagine when it comes to the scratching world. It's really worth seeing. I'm sure you can get it on Netflix. I'm so old, I have it on DVD, so there you go. But Grand Wizard Theodore was the one who invented the scratch. He was there. Rob Swift and Mr. Sinister from the Executioners. For those of you who don't know that, they are a DJ scratch team, and they've been around for a long time and have incredible knowledge and talent to bring. And the panel was those three kind of talking about the early days of hip-hop and the early days of DJing and where it grew from, stuff like that. So it was nice to sit in there, because a lot of these stories I had heard over the years or seen, but to get to hear them tell the stories themselves, and I thought that was kind of cool. The other thing that was kind of cool is getting to meet a lot of these people, and I'm not sure if I want to jump into this yet or not, but just to show the pictures here, I'm going to go ahead and share this so you know who these people are. Okay, so Mr. Sinister is right there. He's part of the Executioners. This is Rob Swift from the Executioners over here on the left, and Grand Wizard Theodore at the bottom. This is the Kevy Kev that I told you was in there with that era. Scribble, got to meet him. Just randomly ran into him, which I'm going to talk about randomly running into people, and I just randomly ran into him. Just totally unexpected. Phil from Digital DJ Tips. It was awesome to get to meet him. He's taller than I thought he would be, but he's a really cool guy, down to earth. It was just kind of nice to get to meet him. For those of you who don't know, one of the biggest phrases in all of hip hop. Let me clear my throat. DJ Cool performed at the one of the shows there, and after he did his thing, he came down to the audience and took pictures, and he just stood there for the whole time, one picture after another picture after another picture after another picture, and it was just crazy to see how he was just so embracing to everybody and was so patient with everybody. I really liked that. DJ Scratch, too, he was crazy busy. I had trouble getting him. And Melissa Nikita was one of the Denon DJs, which I'll talk about the Denon stuff here in a bit. But those were the guys that were on the panel. And like I said, there was just a ridiculous amount of a broad range of stuff at the Expo, which I thought was really cool this year. It doesn't matter what kind of DJ you were. There were places... seminars that you could go to and get education on. Literally, there was just endless amounts of stuff. Okay, so now we take this to the experience side, and we'll come back and ask some questions here in a minute. So one of my experiences this year came about out of the blue, literally 2 weeks before the Expo, and I didn't really want to talk about it because I really didn't know what was going on. I didn't have enough detail in my brain and enough to process it. But at my age, I was given the opportunity to spin in the Denon booth on the showroom floor. So I got to do a set, and this is one. I'm not sure if John took this one or Peter, the Hubcap guy, Hubcap dude. I don't know if he's in the chat or not tonight, but he's always part of our thing. He was great getting to hang out with him again. But those two, John, his son, and John's son also got to spin. Great set. But it was kind of a neat experience that, after all these years, of working in the business and getting to to be a part of that, and I'm so thankful. It's it's kind of overwhelming in a way because I kind of think of it as a bucket list thing. That I spun on the showroom floor, but to some people it may not be a big thing, but to me it was not only that I got to spin on the showroom floor, but I got to spin for the brand that I love and have been DJing with for the past 20 years. So I got to do that, and that was one of my big experiences with the Expo, and why I kind of was him hawing around because I really didn't know what to expect. I'm going to be talking about here in a minute the actual part of DJing there. I want to explain a lot of that. But the other thing is that our DJNTV insiders did a little party that night. There was also we had some I want to call them sponsors, but other people say no, we really can't call them sponsors but I am, because they brought us all kinds of swag, and they were physically there representing. Virtual DJ was physically there representing one of their people. Two of their people came down, giving away. Plus, they're not just like a marketing person, but they were giving stuff away. Pro X gave us some stuff. EV, and I think, if I'm correct, Record Pool from Promo Only gave us some stuff. But it was a party that was put on by the DJNTV insiders, mainly Howie and Jimmy, who were, I believe, both in the chat tonight. So thank you guys for putting this together with the lights and the sound, and gave a few of us an opportunity to do a set. And it became just this really impromptu party. And I can honestly say, if you can imagine DJing in front of other DJs is a little, maybe be a little, I don't want to say nerve-wracking, because the people are judging and they know what you're doing. But this room that night, I felt no judgment. All I felt was love. And you can see by the picture I'm going to show you that it's a rarity, because I'm kind of a serious DJ. Even though I jump around and stuff, I'm serious about what I do. But this was me spinning at the Insiders event. I'm smiling. So that's what kind of awesome thing it was. But it was, like I said, you would think DJing in front of other DJs might be a little nerve-wracking, but there was so much love in that room that night that I can't begin to tell you what an awesome feeling it was to do that. It also started raining partway through, and I've never seen anything like this before, because we're outside, and it started raining, and every DJ there, we know our equipment is valuable. Every DJ there jumped up, and we had a tarp that was over the speakers, over the DJ, over the equipment, and every DJ there just stood and held the tarp up it started raining when John's son was spinning, Michael, and it was just like, it wasn't even second thought. Everybody got up to protect the equipment, and there was just so much love there. We were laughing and smiling, and Michael's like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "Keep rocking it, dude. Just keep rocking it." And I just want to say that was a good experience, and I hope we can do it again next year, and get even more people. I want to that was a nice little outdoor venue, but I very much want to outgrow that venue is my goal. Not my goal, but I hope that we do that. I hope to see that it grows. Somebody's saying something in there about virtual DJ. I think there was a misinterpretation there of what they're saying, that I don't think Brandon was busted on virtual. In my opinion, mixing's mixing. It doesn't matter. Just like this is the perfect example. For the thing I did for Denon, I could not use a computer. Didn't matter if I was a Serato guy, virtual guy, record box. Doesn't matter. When you do a set and everything, you have to use their equipment. So I use the thumb drive on the 5000s. It was my only choice. So a DJ is a DJ. So a DJ can DJ no matter what the DJ's DJing with. And a software isn't going to make you a good DJ. Isn't going to make you a bad DJ. It isn't going to be anything. So if you're a good DJ, you're a good DJ. And like I said, that was one of the things that I was happy with myself that I stepped up with. And just took on that challenge of a piece of equipment that I literally have never spun on before. So I had to prepare the thumb drive and everything ahead of time. Did not get to test it till I got there, and had about 2 minutes to test it the day before, and then the next day walked up to it and plugged it in and did my set. So again, a good DJ is a good DJ. Let's have no more talk about this in the chat. Let's move on to more stuff. My complaints about the Expo. The showroom itself was much smaller than in previous years, in my opinion. It may not have been square footage, but it may have been less vendors. I don't know, but it was smaller. And the worst part about it being smaller is that it was just as loud as previous years in a bigger room, but you had less room. So it was so freaking loud. And I want to go back to this picture here, and I want to share this. Okay, so literally, if you can look through that wall, do you remember the picture I showed you a couple minutes ago, the main stage? Literally behind that wall is the main stage. So with these speakers, how close they are to me, like you could probably see if I went zoomed in there. See the scaffolding in between the little slits in the glass there? That's the main stage. So the main stage was that close to the Denon booth, and the speakers were that close to me. I could hear the main stage louder than I could hear the speaker setting next to me. So I had to do the whole set with the headphones on. It was challenging. So again, one of those things that I'm happy that I stepped up to the thing. I don't mean to, I'm not trying to say it like I pat myself on the back, but we all are given challenges in life, and we've all at times backed away from the challenges and kind of regretted it. And I've been a firm believer in life that I hate what ifs, so I want to take on the challenge, and that was a challenge, but it was so freaking loud, and it just seems like it's getting worse and worse each year. And the other thing that I would say, one more bad thing, and then I'm going to talk about the good part of it, was that because we're so far away from the boardwalk, it felt a little disconnected from Atlantic City itself. It kind of didn't feel like you were at the beach over there, even though the hotel, everything was beautiful. It was wonderful. But being so far away, it kind of felt a little disconnected. But what I want to say good about it, because again, I'm not necessarily complaining that you were disconnected, but the good part is that you saw those pictures of me meeting all those guys, okay? Every one of those, because of the way the hotel is and the stages and the showroom, you were constantly running into other DJs talking. And that's one of the things that everybody talks about, the networking at the Expo, is that I think this venue catered to crossing paths with people more than any of them. Because, like I said, a lot of those, like Scribble and the other guys, I just crossed paths walking down a hallway, said, hey, how's it going? Can I get a picture? Boom, stuff like that. Or just people from, that are in the chat tonight that were there. It was neat to really kind of crisscross there. And that's one of the things that, when you talk about the different aspects of the different venues, this one, I think, catered more towards crossing paths. And I'm not talking about necessarily the big names of the pictures I showed, but just anybody that maybe watches the show, or people who are from my hometown or area, or people who I've met in years past at the Expo. I really think this really did create an atmosphere for networking. One of the things that Dan and I, it was the last day, the showroom where you walk into, let's say this is the wall where you walk into the showroom, okay? And the main hallway is going out that way. Well, Dan and I walked out the far door on this side and was walking past all the doors. And by the time, from the time we walked out this door to the time we left that area, it literally took us 30 minutes because we were constantly stopping and talking to people all the way along there. So it's good and bad. And I like that. Even though it was bad for time management, it was awesome for getting to talk to people. Everywhere you went, it was comfortable to talk to people. Whether you went to food or whatever, it was an environment where you cross paths, and I really liked that. So that's kind of my whole gist to the whole Expo. That was my experience. There's a lot there. I know I talked a lot today. I'll try to answer some questions in the chat. Someone else there said the networking was better this year. Like I said, the venue, even though, like I said, you kind of felt like you're far away from the boardwalk, I guess just the way walking down the halls made it more, and you're always talking to somebody. The main stage, if you ever, like I said, unless you're there, you literally, I think Howie said it earlier, like literally you walk in the front door. So I'm walking in the front door of the showroom, and the Roland booth is, the outside of the Roland booth is 3 feet or 4 feet from the door. And I could hear the main stage louder than I could the Roland booth that was 3 or 4 feet away from the door. That's how bad that was. I actually literally saw lots of people walking around this year with either headphones in or earplugs in, headphones on or earplugs in, which that should tell you right there. Did I get to pick my set? Is that what you said there? Yes, I get to pick my music, and the weird thing is that I had a set planned out, but because I've not spent any time on the equipment, the push and the pull of the platter is different than what I'm used to. So I ended up the night before literally changing my entire set to kind of more fit the equipment that I'd never used before. So I had to twist that up literally 10 o'clock the night before I was working on the set that I did the next day. And then when we did the Insiders area that night, I got to use my 7000 and got to do my full set with the full scratch, the full layering. I did acapellas. I did everything with that when I got to do that one at the Insiders one. But on the main stage, I had to kind of dummied it down. But everybody liked it because not being so complicated, I got into it more and was able to bounce around and just do what I do when I DJ, and like I would do on a Friday or Saturday night, and they really liked that. So it's just a different mindset completely of the two. But I did get to pick it. Like I said, it was a bucket list thing for me. I can't say that I was I couldn't have been more thankful to Dan and let me have that opportunity. It was amazing. That's why I know I'm focusing a lot on that, but that was a big part for me. So feel free to ask questions. Still got a few minutes there. Funny thing is we're talking about the volume there of that room. If you were at NAMM in California, Anaheim, they will bounce you out. Like I've seen booths get kicked for being too loud. And the other thing was that someone said when they were setting up and doing sound tests at the beginning, someone walked in with a sound meter who was from the hotel, did some testing, and never came back. So I don't know whether they didn't care or that was just their responsibility to test it and prove that they tested it. But, you know, I don't know what their limits were, but it was loud. But it was good. Any other questions or anybody have any comments, stuff that they saw at the expo or liked? I met so freaking many of you. It just blew my mind how many of you come up and say you watched the show. So thank you for doing that, because I never can even imagine never imagine meeting so many people like that if it wasn't for this show. Am I DJing another? Is that a question, Nomo99, or a statement? Because I would love an opportunity to both spin at Den and Again or the after party. So, like I said, I didn't even plan on going this year until 2 weeks before when Denon hit me up, and I'm like, I'll come out just for that, no other reason. But I don't know. I hope so. What speakers were those in the Denon booth? Let's zoom in together and find out, because I can't remember. Left monitor, and we'll zoom in. I think they are altos. Yeah. I'm not sure what size. The TS 12 tops, I think, and the 12 bottoms. So yeah. But oh, did they have earplugs at the check-in, Howie? I didn't know that. That was awesome. That makes sense. I know when I went out to the events in the evening, both the pool party and the lounge, I took my earplugs with me, and that for me, you know, I have really good hearing. I've always had good hearing, and I wore them at both of the parties. So it's a good thing to wear. I know for a fact that the NLFX people and a few other booths, people working there, like, you know, the representatives, had earplugs in while they were there, describing the equipment. To the people who worked there, had them in the whole time. Okay, that was a statement, Nom, so let me go back and read that there. Next year, MJ DJing at one of the after parties like Shaney with Bose. Are you saying, Nomo, you're going to be spinning there? There was a buttload of parties that had nothing to do with the expo whatsoever. They were just stuff put on, and that was a neat thing too, to see people talking about, I'm going to this one, I'm going to that one, and get to just see a bunch of different DJs. And the fact that I knew a bunch of DJs. I know a guy who spun in the not the Bose room, but the Bass Boss room, and he also spun in the Rain booth. So you had stuff like that. You had DJs who do stuff mixing like I do, just jumping around different places. Yeah. Our ears are our livelihood. I always tell people the reason I protect my ears is because I want to listen to music long after I'm done playing it. So when I'm done DJing, which people say, oh, you'll DJ forever. I don't know. If I got the chance to retire, where I didn't need to worry about an income, I don't know if I would DJ. I don't know. Or if I did, I would only DJ like electronic music, like house, down tempo, something like that, trance or something, like I used to. A lot of my set was real high end. I did a lot of high BPM stuff in my set just because I love it. I wanted it to do that. So keep in mind for next year, some people going about next year, keep an eye on the DJ Times webpage, because when they come out with the date that it comes on, if you get your tickets, then it's so much cheaper. And even if you want to just get alone only the showroom pass, let's say you're within driving distance and you want to get showroom pass, usually if you go to the DJ Times DJ Expo webpage and register, I think it was June 4th this year was the deadline, June something. The showroom doesn't cost you a penny to get in if you register that far ahead of time. You get the showroom pass for free, or if you want to get the one for all the seminars and all the parties, it's greatly reduced. So if you plan on going, like I said, normally around March they'll tell you the date, and the date is almost always the third week in August. So keep that in mind if you also have to request vacation time. But the showroom was not free. Like I said, it's free if you register ahead of time. If you walked in that day, I'm not kidding you, because I heard a guy complaining about this. I didn't realize it was this much. But if you walked in the day of the expo or any of the days of the expo and you had not pre-registered and all you wanted to do was walk into the showroom floor and look at stuff, it would have cost you $85. $85 to walk in. And for those of you who don't know, $85 is a lot for that room, in my opinion. That's just what I'm saying. For what was in there, that was just my opinion. But yeah, register way ahead of time. Yeah, I think you're correct. I think it was like $200 for the full pass, and that for the early register, and that full pass literally got you all the seminars, all the parties, all the everything. Yeah. So if you do plan on going, that's definitely the way to go. You're going to save yourself so much money, because you also reserve your hotel room early also. That'll save you a lot of money too, or bunk with someone. So I again thank Dan for letting me bunk with him. There was this tiny, weird-looking couch in the corner of his room, and that's what I slept on, this odd S-shaped couch. It was the strangest thing that I had to sleep on. But again, for the opportunity that I got, I took it. I don't care if I would have had to sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. It doesn't matter. I was going to go. And that's kind of like my mindset with a lot of stuff when it comes to performance years ago when I used to tour. And when I get an opportunity like this with the Denon stuff and with the Insiders thing at night, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go, and I'm going to make it happen one way or the other. That's just kind of the mindset you kind of have to take. You just kind of have to say the cost of doing business, as they say, the cost of doing business is sleeping on a floor or whatever, or driving all night, whatever it takes, sort of thing. And that's kind of what it was when I 2 weeks ahead, or less. Actually, it was less than 2 weeks. Found out about it, but this year was a good experience. It was totally different because last year I covered it 100% the whole time through for Disc Jockey News. So I was just about interviewing, I was just about filming, I was just about that. But this year I got a balance of both. Actually, all three, I would say, from the person who performed to the person who did the news to the person who stood and watched other people perform. It was a neat balance, and also sitting in the seminar and stuff. I got to see a little bit of everything and be a part of everything, and it was a good experience, and it left a positive influence on me. I have to say, from getting to experience it all that way. I kind of almost feel empty coming out the other side because. Now I'm here sitting in a studio and really nothing all day except for a few texts. But it's a turnaround. We're almost out of time, but for those at the top of the hour, I talked about the two different trips that I went on back to back, and one of them was a motorcycle trip, and I ride off-road motorcycles. This actually is a dual sport that I ride, and somebody at the top of the hour asked if they were going to see the video from the motorcycle trip, and I said that I would share it if you want to. So before the top of the hour is out, again, if you have any questions, you got a couple more minutes, but this is a video that my friend Eric took because we were doing part of the trail. We actually rode 125 miles of nothing but trails over 3 days. It was a blast. I had a great time. Eric and I have been riding together. We're the same age. We've been riding together since we were teenagers. And now he's taken his teenage kids out there with us. This time his daughter was riding. His sons come out and ride. Everybody, you know, his brother, all these different things. But we've been literally riding on these trails our whole lives. And again, just getting to get out. And this is a little piece of footage that Eric took of me coming up the one part of the trail. Nothing major. So take a look. Here we go. I'm not going to turn the volume up because I don't know how loud it's going to be, so you're going to see it without volume. All right, and here I come. Whee! Wasn't really a hill climb, it was just a hill. And I went up the hill. So that was me. Actually, if you can see from the video there, not tired, but because I stand, I ride because I used to race and stuff when I was younger, so I take an attack position, so I'm standing a lot. But I love that part where I can get out in the woods and just be away from everybody. So it's a nice balance. But there's those of you who asked at the top of the hour to see a motorcycle video. That was from this week, and that was from the first day actually. And the reason we did the hill, I don't want talk too much about it, but we were changing suspension stuff on me. That's why I wanted to do that. So I said I want to see how the suspension does. So what a nerd. That is a someone asking what kind of bike it is. It's a 91 Honda XR250L. It's a dual sport. It means that it's legal to ride on the road or off the road. And it's basically an off-road motorcycle that has headlights and turn signal and tail light and stuff like that. And that's what that is. So any last questions before we check out of here? You guys are awesome. Again, for all of you who I met at the Expo and got to talk to, I was overwhelmed by you guys telling me that you enjoy the show and you learn a lot. So that makes me just want to do more and do better shows. So I'm going to keep at this. Again, if you have topics, hit me up with the topics. Like I said, the first rule of DJ Expo is you can only do 2 shows about it, one before, one after, and this was my after. So next week will not be about the DJ Expo. So hit me up with some topic stuff you want to see. I'll probably have the turntables out next week. You know what I mean? The 7000 out next week. Maybe I might even have my new crossfader in there. My crossfader's going bad, and Dennis said they're going to get me a new crossfader. So maybe have that in by next week. But again, thank you guys not only for watching the show, but for coming up, talking to me, hanging with me, letting me hear firsthand that you enjoy this, because it's a tough thing to do sometimes when you're here and you don't get a full feedback, or sometimes you just get stuff in notes that people write and you don't get the full gist of someone come up and shaking your hand and telling you things they've learned and how that they're thankful for it and how genuine it is. It's like I said, it's different than a teacher standing in a classroom seeing a classroom react, because I'm so distant from you guys just because of technology. But technology has brought us all together, because I even had a guy come up real quick, and I stupidly can't remember his name, but he come up real quick and he shook his hand. He goes, "Oh, I watch your show all the time. I love it. I think I'm your only viewer from Canada." And I'm like, "I don't think you are. I think we have several Canadian viewers." So people from multiple countries watching. And again, thank you guys for everything. And as always, by the camaraderie that was part of the Expo, and everybody just watching out for each other, whether we're holding a tarp over someone, you know, in the rain, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that when you're out there with each other, we're not against each other, even though it's a business. We don't have to be against each other. So not only take care of yourselves, but take care of each other. Thanks for watching. God bless.